Good morning, people. Hello, hello, hello. Let's just make sure the audio is just right. There we go. So I'm back. It's the next morning. Obviously, I crashed out last night, or yesterday, I should say. And we are continuing with the development of this project. And I've just noticed that my volume is really, really low. Right, hang on. That should be better. Right. Okay. I did notice that my audio yesterday was really, really low, so I do apologise about that, people. But yes, it is 5:42 in the morning, and we are working on creating animations for the character, because I realised yesterday that I need to have some animations. Specifically, I need to create the crouching animation, because I don't have that in my library of animations. So, as you can see, I currently am trying to recreate the crouching animation from Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. So far we've got this. And the reason that we need this animation, which is okay, it's basic, but it'll work. So the reason why we need this is because there is a section in this level, if we go over here, is where we're going to have to crouch under this rock formation. Now, as you can see, we're building it pretty well. I did some more tweaking to the level yesterday. So we got the backside of it sorted, where the fences are. So it's a work in progress. We're making good progress, slow and steady. And what I'm doing is I'm still using this same video from the Splinter Cell video game series. If you haven't checked them out, send them a subscription. Is I'm using this video as a reference pose, because we can't get the animations from the old game. And believe me, as smart as I am, I still couldn't make any software that was good enough to get into there. But, you know, it is what it is. So, using that reference pose, I was able to recreate as close to it as I could the crouching position of Sam. So I'd say that's pretty damn close, which will come in handy. But this time, what I've done is I've rested his hand on the corner of his leg, on his knee, instead of it being just down at the side. I do want to do some minor tweaks to that animation, and then what we will do is we will move that animation into some anim sets and add it to the blueprint, and then assign it to the key, and we should be able to use it in game. I am also watching tutorials as well at the same time, so I'm learning as I go along, because this is it's not the same as using 3ds Max directly and animating inside the 3D tools, which is kind of the workflow I'm used to. But yeah, we're going to have some fun. can see, what I'm trying to do is, when the player crouches, is we want the shoulders to move a little bit, so it's more like fluid, more human-like. And we're using a 90 frame clip, so the first 45 seconds, first 45 frames is of it getting to the crouch position, and then the other 45 is when it leaves the crouch position. So, just want to copy that bit. Just check, that's 9. So that'll be 81. Oops, that's the wrong clip. But it's not exactly. To me, that looks a little bit too high. So we want to grab both of them and reanimate them both at the same time. So save there. Rekey that. So what we can do is we can get frames for these two, which are here and here, and we can copy them, and then what we can do is so say that is where we want it to go back to normal, and then that's a good exercise motion. I love stuff like this. You can have a lot of fun as well while you're developing stuff. Like, it's quite enjoyable, to be fair. And this will simply just be a crouch animation. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy the clavicle from there, and then we go to frame 81 and we'll paste it there. That way we can see exactly what frames we're animating. So that way when he stands back up, his shoulders, before he finishes the stand position, are back to where they should be, back to the idle position. So if we play that, now I'm seeing there are some other animations that are applying at the same time. See, this one is absolutely right. Okay, so now when we get to here, which is just before the frame position pose. So say we get to here. What we want to do is we get this one. Let's rotate that just slightly. We'll apply a key there. So that way the arm now slightly moves. So I'll decrease the frame length as well, so we get it to there. That way we can just play it direct up to the 90 frames. And now I'm thinking, if I go back up here to the top, I think we need to move this one slightly. So maybe frame 7. Actually, we're going to delete all them frames because there is a slight problem with them. Now that's better. Okay, now let's click play, let's play through them. That's better. That's a more, yeah, so we've got the shoulder movement just right. So we don't have the shoulder movement at the start, we have it at the end when it gets back up. So at this position, frame 8, let's mark the keyframes. Frame 23, frame 38, frame 53, frame 67, frame 75, oh, 74, I think that covers significant keyframe positions. So then we can just make minor adjustments to each of the positions. So This is as soon as he starts crouching, so what we want to do is you want to just, oops, mark that keyframe there. So that way. So what we can do is we can actually delete that keyframe. Just there. There we go. So then we can see the head just slightly moves. So we don't want it being too fancy. We just want it to drop to the crouch position and then get back up. And to be fair, I think I'm quite happy with that one. Obviously, look, we can view the pose in game, which looks sort of okay, but it kind of looks like he's sat down. It's not exactly in a crouching position, so we need to fix that. Which means we need to adjust this position. So 45 is the center position of 90. So at position 45, we want it to hit a resting pose. Oopsie daisies. Right, so I have to undo that. Which means when I undo it, it undoes everything from the posing. So you have to be very careful when you're using Control Z when you're animating like this, because it's not like 3ds Max. One mistake and the whole thing goes to shit, basically. So, like that. So then what we want to do is move that forward just a little bit. There we go. Now that looks like his hand is resting on his knee while he's in the crouching position. That looks more like a crouching position. So then what we're going to do is we're going to key these frames right on frame 45, and this is like the center pose, which means everything else will move towards that and then move from it. So now let's have a look to see how that plays. Hey, that was that's unintentional. Well, that's not meant to do that exactly, but it kind of looks like he's doing something he shouldn't be doing. Oops. So what we need to do now, because those frames are interfering with the other ones, is we get those frames at frame 38 and we delete them. And the same for the frames at frame 53 is we delete them, because now we have the proper centered pose is what we want. So then what we do is we get those frames, move them to frame 37, copy them, and then we move them over here to frame 53. And then what we can do is now we will delete all the other frame keys that we just set up. So delete that one. And that gives us a nice smoother pose, like a resting pose. So we'll do the same for this one here. We'll delete them. Oops, that was the wrong one. Okay. So now if we play them, yeah, that looks a lot better. So what we can do is we can see what it looks like when we delete those frames. There we go. That's what we want. Something like that. So then what we can do is we can delete those frames from there. It gives us a pretty unique replication. It's not one-to-one, but it works. So then what we are going to do is we're going to delete that one. And we're going to delete that set from 16 and there we go. Now you see we've got a nice clean animation. I think that will do for our crouching pose, because we've got crouch in and crouch out, and we have the And what we will do is we will set frame 45 now as the center pose. So that way from frame 0 to frame 45 is enter crouch, and then frame 45 to 90 is leave crouch. And then what we can do is we can link those crouch poses to the analog sticks and stuff like that. Damn, it's pretty cold this morning. I've got the fan on. I keep taking my jacket on and off. It gets so uncomfortable, man. I never thought I'd actually get to see the day where I'd actually get to be doing something I actually enjoy. Okay, so what we're going to do now with this is we're going to export it now to an animation file. just kind of forgot how to export the animation I just made to another animation file. I just watched it and I just forgot it, so I need to find it again so I can remember how to do it. First world problems in a third world country. I mean, third world problems in a first world country. Yeah, that's the one. So, where is it? That's it, found it. All that searching for a 5 fucking minute video. Oh, wow. Okay. Right click, bake animation sequence. How could I not remember that? Serious memory problems. Oh well. Right, so what I want to do is I want to store it. Oh, shit. Okay. I will save it in my models folder. Actually, MetaHuman folder. And we'll call this animations. Because obviously I want to be using these with the metahumans. So we'll create a new folder. Crouching. And we will call this MM Fisher Crouch. We'll just call it MM Fisher Crouch. Export that. Let's have a look at these settings. Yeah, that's fine. Don't know what any of them mean, but there we go. So we've just exported that animation. So if we go over to our MetaHuman folder, animations crouching, there it is. Let's shrink this down a bit. So there we go, we have the crouch animation. So now what we want to do is we want to blend this with like a crouch walk animation. Now, hopefully, I will have one. Somewhere. So I filter through all my content. So we got crouch there. This is not as easy as people make it look. I mean, it might be easy for some other people, but for my brain, imagine a computer processor. My brain is like a 486. Everybody else's is like a 686 or an i3. So this is going to be a lot more complicated than I thought. That's alright. I like a bit of a challenge. So I'm going to need to create a few more animation presets. So we got our crouch, right? But I need to have a look through my content browser to see if I have any crouch walking. And I don't think I do. So this means we're going to have to use the chaos theory video to evaluate how Fisher actually moves. So if we take a look, so I might have to slow this down really, really slow. So maybe 0.25 and then pop back a second. So as we can see, right, so because of the camera angle, we can't really see that well, but if I take that, I see my screen at the top isn't as bright as it should be. Brightness, I need to increase the brightness. Okay. Contrast, increase the contrast. Still not bright. Ah, that's why. I need I swear I have Windows Update disabled. Why is it checking for updates when I have it disabled? I'll have to deal with that later. So, because I have night mode on, focus assist, display, night mode, there we go, that's better. Whoa, that is so different. I've got all them nice bright blues, bloody hell. I've been using it on the yellow tint mode for quite a while, I've just got so used to it. So what I need to start doing now is making these animations. So now what I'm gonna do is I need to create a crouch idle animation section, which is quite literally just this pose here, which is going to be crouch idle. So if I export that, like bake animation sequence, metahumans, animations, crouch in, crouch idle. We now have the crouch idle. So if we have a look at that, there we go. So that is literally just the crouching position set as that. So that way we can just use that as a base reference pose. And then animate to crouch walking left, crouch walking right. So we'll save that and we'll save that one as well. Alright. Now, what I will do is okay, so I'll be back in a minute. So what I want to do is, looking at the angles, is I'm going to create a new let's save the sequence, and I'm just going to have a look. Right, yes. So what I can do is, now we've got that idle animation, is I can just turn it on and off like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the crouch idle animation, I'm going to drop that into the well, that's not working as Okay. Right. That's a problem. Right. Why does it spawn it over there? That's weird. So what we're supposed to do is we bring that in like that. Right. So as you can see, we've got the different pose. Which is good. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add actor track, add crouch idle. A. That's weird. Why doesn't... Might have to do some Googling about that. That's weird. It's very odd. Right, so very strange why that does that. I don't know why it does that. I ain't an expert in this software, so you know. I might have to watch a video about that to figure out why that does that. So it seems we can only create animations using one rig at a time. Okay, so what we're going to have to do here is maybe I need to create a new sequence. I think that's what it could be. I think I might need to make a new level sequence. Yeah, I need to go watch a video about this because something's not right. having a look at things, and what we're going to do is we're going to get the mannequin So if I get a metahuman, clear that. So I'll just grab mannequins, meshes. I'll grab money, which is a different one. So, but money uses the same rig as this one here. Now, apparently, what I can do is I can add money simple. And then what I can do is I can add the animation, crouch, now we can see something happening, but it's not. There we go. Right. So as you can see, it does apply the animation. Now obviously this mannequin on the right is the female body and this is the male body. So really I should be targeting, doing the animations for the male mannequin, because otherwise we get some deforms that are otherwise not here on the female body. But that's okay because we can just tweak them and stuff. Because what we can do is we can retarget the animations that we make on this one, and obviously what I will need to do is, yeah, because what you have to do is you have to deactivate this track. That way you can just do that. Right, that makes sense. Okay. So I can delete that one. And so now that I've just figured that out, I'll delete money. So now what we can do is, if we duplicate this track, cancel, hang on, we duplicate this. And then we deactivate that track. There we go. Right, so now we can move this character over here. There we go. That's what we want. Right, so I'll disable that one, so we're not interfering with it, and I will block it. Now what I want to do is add an absolute override. Oopsie daisies. We'll delete that one. So what we want to do is this center pose is going to become the new pose for the whole rig for this. So what we'll call this is crouch walk. And then we will delete that pose. We will delete that pose. Delete that one and that one. So that gives us just the crouching position. Then what we can do is I'll grab that, we'll drag that, we'll put that there, and then move this to 30, and we'll move this one to move that to 60, save. We can now make this one smaller, drop that down to 60. So in these 60 frames, what we want to do is we want to create the walk-in, crouch walk animation. So, and that is quite simple. All we gotta do is just adjust the positions. So I'll drop this down a bit. Open up. Give myself some more room to work with. So now I need to watch how Fisher moves, just so we can learn the crouch behavior. So the first thing that happens is Fisher's head, his neck moves, and his head rotates up. Alright. And we will key them all. Now I'm doing this based on the angle that I can see. So from here, so first this arm moves forward. do that side. I also need to twist the body a bit. This arm has to come back here. Open it up, just move it up there. Ooh, straighten out the hand. Okay. So while the leg is there, the foot on this side stays here. So what we will need to do is push him up a bit. This foot at the back has to go forward. Keel. So that way we can scrub back. There we go. That's what we want, like that. Okay. Then this foot has to move forward like that. Keel. Let me scrub it like that. So then what we can do is we'll go to frame 30 and we want to lift the leg up, say about there, animate, so we'll put that there, so that way we see the leg lifts up, goes down. So when that one hits there, There we go. That gives us, so that goes up like that there. Then so that gives us our left side. We'll rotate that. Push that down a bit. Keyframe all. Now that should actually give us that should actually be up here. If we move that there, and then if we pull that out a bit, rotate it up. There we go. So this should give us there we go. So that's the right side. Now that we have that, the question is, how do we now copy that right side and apply that to the left side, but on the inverse? Because we only want it to go up to do that. That's it. That's all we want it to do. I'm seeing something here. So when that does that and goes to there, this one that should go up like that. Then we can go and move that there. Oops. Right. Complicated. I'm gonna be quiet while I do this. think I have made a problem here. And it's because I've keyframed everything. Keyframing everything at once is just lazy, and it's not really working out as well as I want it to do. I mean, everything is from the top. It's fine, but it's the leg movement from the crouch, because the body should raise first, and then say here, maybe frame 10 is when the leg should move. So if we grab this and this, move these to frame 10. Like that. There we go, like that. Delete that one. Let's move this over there. There we go, like that. That's how we want it. That's a good. Because when the foot hits the floor, yeah. So now what we need to do is we need to fix the left foot, because the left foot should not move until the right foot touches the floor. So let's grab this one and this bar. So this is our left control. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove this one and this one. We remove them. There we go. Just like that. Right, so yes. So now that looks like he's crouching on the right and walking on the right. And then what we can do is we can mirror this animation so it does the opposite on the left side. Okay, so what we can do is we close this and we delete that section there. So now we have the crouch to walk position on the right side. Okay, if we open the content drawer, there we go. So we have the right side. And then what we can do is we can transpose it to the left side. So we'll save that. I just need to watch a video about this. Give me a minute. wasn't what I wanted, but that's good to actually have the mirror thing. So I'll just save that there. Because even though that isn't what I wanted, what I want to do is I want to mirror the animation that I just made. Excuse me. I've been doing this for 2 hours. Okay, so we figured it. I think we figured it anyway. So we have this side. So this is our right side. So we've just saved that as an animation, right? Now, what we're going to do is we're actually going to call that right side A. Okay, so we got that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate it. Yep. And we're going to turn this one off. You get invisible. Right. Okay. So we disable that. Right, so we got this one, right? Now let's make that 60 seconds, 60 frames. We'll copy that and we'll paste that there. Now what we're going to do is right click, just watch this. Right click, properties, animation. Mirror data table. Crouch walk, left side.
Mirror component.
And that should be it. There we go. So now we see we can mirror both of them. Now that end pose, so say we get to there. See now, can we do this? So we have that one. That gets to there. And then from the end of that pose, what we want to do is we want to blend it into the next pose. That's what I need to figure out. This is difficult. My brain is struggling. So we'll just excuse me. Try and figure out something. Yes, I need to figure out something else. Because that works, but it's not working exactly as I want it to. Because I think we need like a... Because that's only the start of the cycle. So it gets up, it starts moving, then the left side needs to translate to the right side, but we also need that middle position where both sides cross over. So properties, so we can clear that if we copy that. put that here. Ah, right. So when we get to that pose, that should be the pose, that frame. And then we get that one, play it back. We flip that one. And I think that should be the pose. That we use. So we go back to this one. Oh, turn that one back on. So we turn that animation off. Right, so we're back to the mannequin body. So perhaps what we could do is, so if we have it moving like that there, and then from there so then what we can do actually is we can copy that frame, that one, right? Because then we want it to cycle back. So 30, 35. And that one goes to 15, which means that'd be 45. Oops. That wasn't supposed to happen. I think they need to fix this. So I select that one. Make sure it's selected the right copy. There we go. clear that. That one's 11. 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that one goes there. And back into the crouch position. So it goes to 60. There we go. So that's the cycle. There we go, like that. So if we take that, let's delete that animation and that animation. So then all we have is that. So then what we do is we do the first part, which we've already got, and then we do the second part. Wait, animation sequence. Any humans animations crouching. And let's just MM. Right. So now we go back here. So we've got crouch walk right side and then crouch walk right side end. So that's the side where it gets up. Alright. We can close that one for now. Then we've got the right side where it goes back down. Right. That's what we needed. Okay. So we can save that one. Now, what we do here is now we're going to do some frame magic and add the animation. So crouch walk right side. But before we do that, we add the idle one. So crouch idle, And then from there, like that, there we go, like that. Then also we want to get this pose as well, which is the freeze pose. So we want it, but now we're getting somewhere. Okay, so turn the animation layer off, go back to the mannequin body, and what we want is we want this pose, and it is as simple as, quite literally, actually I'm thinking. So what we can do is we can move that to 28, copy that frame, move it to 32, paste it, drag that over there, same with this one, move that there. So then all we want is this section here, and then what we will do is we will export that. Nope. Bake animation sequence. And humans animation crouching. And crouch. Right side. Transition pose. Alright. We'll save that as the transition pose. Then what we can do is we can just double check that. So that'll just be like that. Save that. I'll close that. I can close that one as well. And I can close the output log. Right. So let's put this back here. Move this back there. Move that transition pose back to the middle. And we'll delete that extra segment, extra frame that we added. Boom. Right. So that puts the transition pose back. So we can disable the mannequin rig, and then we go back here. So we've got the crouch idle, then we move into the crouch walk, and then we add another animation, crouch RS transition pose. Right. Then we can then add crouch walk right side end. So let's just play that through. Okay. There we go. We see it transition from right to left. So what we want to do, good morning, Empress. This animation shit is fucking difficult, man. I feel like I gotta do it manually, man. It's really annoying. Just fucking delete that from there and then go just do that. This is not fun. Not when it's not working properly. Right, so we're gonna have to delete them and delete them. We're gonna have to do it the old-fashioned manual way. Oh, oh, yeah. I would realise that I'm meant to do it from here. Then I can flip it. What an idiot! Because I'm including the sitting poles as well. I need to do it from here. So these 4 frames is the walk. This is the rest. What a moron. What a fucking idiot. Right. So from there to there. Right, let's do this again. Right. Yeah, export. No, wrong one. This one. Bake animation sequence. Let's do this again. Models, metahumans, animations. Crouch walk RS1. Right. So we do that to there. I think that's only half the cycle. Right, so animation. So give me the transition pose. Crouch idle. From there. And crouch walk RS1. Then zoom this out, preset, type in, yeah. Properties. Properties, playback, flip that one. Yes, like that. And then do that one. I'm trying how we do it. Ooh, I think we figured it out. Oh my gosh. Right. Okay. Right. Okay. So this. and there we go. Okay, well, that's not working as I intended. Because, yeah, it mirrors it, but it's... the frames are not in the right position. Oh. You know what, that's it for today. That is it. I'm just going to save everything. I'm going to close it down and I'm going to go for a rest because that is a joke. I've made some serious mistakes here and I need to have